How many times are we gonna check?
Check.
No more checking.
Check.
We're fucking ready.
Prepare to fast forward.
The ice.
Go, strap yourselves in. Lock your S4s in attack position. We're going in full throttle. It's Trench Run. Yet another Star Wars podcast for your listening pleasure. And now, from the forest moon of Endor, it's Kenny, along with the man whose midichlorians are off the chart. We got Brian. And now, straight from the swamps of Dagobah, it's your host, Nick the Pope.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Trench Run, a place where three friends with varying degrees of Star Wars knowledge talk about a saga from a galaxy far, far away in a place a long time ago. As always, remember to check us out on Audio Boom. Subscribe to your podcast feed of choice, whether it be iTunes, Audio Boom, or Stitcher. Also, remember to email us at trenchrunpod@gmail.com. With me is Kenny. How you doing, Kenny?
Question: Are we not on Spotify?
I don't know. It might be still on Spotify. I thought Spotify was dying.
What? I'm on Spotify.
I don't know. I only listen to my podcasts on iTunes, so
Yeah.
Well,
if it's anywhere else,
I am well. By the
You're
way,
well.
I'm good. Normally people say Spotify on their podcasts. I thought they did. Maybe they don't.
Well, I pay for Audio Boom, so they get their
Audio
their
Boom.
speeds.
they're not really doing it for us, though, are they?
They're never doing it for us.
You need to
I
advertise.
pay them
more.
to not do anything for us. Apparently, they give me stats better than SoundCloud. So.
Well,
Stats.
the
Speaking
stats aren't better than SoundCloud, but the fact that you get them is better, I guess.
Yes, the voice you hear is someone we haven't heard from a long time.
So just, I'll just interrupt you right there because you really fucked up the opening again.
You know what?
Sagas.
Hey, I do what I can.
You said,
for who I can.
you said
for what I can.
saga again. You said from. You messed
From a
up
galaxy
the.
far, far away in a place a long time
Yes,
ago.
yeah.
It's
that's what you said.
see, I haven't written
place a long time ago.
You didn't
I
notice
didn't even
that?
catch
That's why I
that,
looked
no.
at you.
about the saga.
I was
from
still laughing at
Saga.
Saga.
It's like the Saga Awards. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So, as always, you messed it up.
you know what? That's what makes us unique. And
And-
we get more listeners when I mess up than when we don't.
Then we should have tons of listeners.
I know.
Yeah, and
Welcome back.
also, thank you, but I have a bone to pick with you two boneheads.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Right off the
Obviously, I can't take a week off because I take a week off and you're throwing out all kinds of falsehoods and
Fake news.
fake news and just making shit up on the fly.
You were the first one, by the way. Just to let you know.
I am almost the first one that talked, so.
Well, I would say the first one to swear. So,
Yeah.
we don't have a jar, but if we did,
I'm still waiting for that jar. We owe like $1,500.
we have a jar, but not a jar.
So, anyway, last week, you guys were talking about the Clone Wars episodes from Season 6, and you kept spouting nonsense about it was Disney, and
It was Disney,
they made
though.
it just for Netflix. Yes, but it was in production before the purchase.
Okay.
So, it wasn't a Disney production.
But it was in production, but it was
I'm sure they finished the animation and stuff
post
after.
Disney, and then Disney
Agreed
Is
to
it-
air it
on
on Netflix.
Yeah, there
But what you guys
There
were
we have
saying, was that they made it specifically for Netflix.
It feels like they did.
They didn't.
Shoddy animation and shit. It was
I honestly I didn't notice any bad animation.
Yeah, the animation seems like it's worse.
I didn't really care for those episodes all that much. I didn't like the jet ski droid and stupid shit like that.
I didn't mind
Yeah.
that jet ski droid, but
That was the only redeeming part about those episodes last week.
For those who didn't listen last week, which is probably 90% of the three people that are listening right now, there was the episodes in the
It was
sixth
season
season.
6, episodes 1 through 4 for the Order 66 chip.
Fives and
Fives and
Tupperware or something.
Tupperware.
Puck something. I don't know. But yeah, it just wasn't very. It was a good idea with the chip for the Order 66, but I don't know. It just wasn't executed properly.
it was 100 times better than what we got this week. So
That is true. I can't, but yeah, complaining about last week, I feel like I would watch last week's episodes all day, every day if I didn't have to watch these. These were terrible. Terrible.
They definitely weren't in my top 20, but I enjoyed them.
I wonder why.
It had the good politics, and there was a fantastic invasion scene But anyway, you're changing the subject on you guys being screw-ups when I'm not around.
You know what? I think the episode went well, Kenny.
Yeah, I thought we were fine.
It sounded good, but if anybody fact-checked it,
yeah,
they'll never listen
you
again.
You did, and you told us.
And I didn't even need to.
You couldn't wait to tell us how wrong we were, which is fun. I admire that. And
Because you would do the same thing.
I would do the same thing, and yes, but I don't. In this particular topic, I don't know that much about, so I couldn't.
These were basically the last thing that Lucas had his finger on.
What, these episodes or just those?
The sixth season.
I just thought it was funny that these 3 episodes we're going to review came in we're supposed to be in the 5th season originally.
Hence the fact that it wasn't made specifically for Netflix and blah, blah, blah.
Back to you, Brian. How was your month away from us of the podcast?
It was.
Actually, it's been like a month and a half.
It was refreshing to be away from you guys.
Wildwood.
Yeah.
Wildwood.
I got to go into like 3 or 4 vintage toy stores on the boardwalk.
And I heard you bought some books, but didn't bring them tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bought some vintage paperbacks from the vintage era.
See,
Like
I
pre-Return of the Jedi.
See, I can finally not be blamed for not having a quiz that's proper and ready.
But you know what? I put together a proper quiz in 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's literally nothing to talk about too much in the world of Star Wars. Like I said, the last episode, we're running like an hour and 10 minutes because there's literally not much to talk about. Bro, the thing we do have to talk about is something that Brian discovered, and I'm actually going to let you talk about kind of what.
I'm going to pass it to Kenny because he actually dug deeper into it.
Okay, we're going to pass it to Kenny.
Okay, so Brian, whenever he was on his vacation reading Star Wars, and sent an article that
It was from
did you fly up there, or was this airplane reading, or
No, it was just I'm sitting around not doing anything.
okay,
reading. But it was from Jedi Temple Archives.
So he brings this fascinating
Good website.
point that it's definitely worth talking about, and it says, "Is interest in Star Wars waning?" And there's an article on Jedi Temple Archives that discusses this. It has a lot of graphs and stats and stuff, that's right up Brian's alley. Kind of bored me after like the 15th chart. I'm like, okay, I don't need any more of these charts.
It's like 1, 2.
So all right,
It's a lot of charts, but
there's
it's good
so many
stuff.
charts that I couldn't even
Aquaman.
with the charts. So basically, it's talking about in Google searches how Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker performs to other Star Wars movies, and then it goes into performing against Marvel films and other films. So to me, and I mean, I'll just get started to start the topic off. It's not, and I've talked about this before with just basic interest in people that I know or work with. Nobody talks about Star Wars, and maybe it's just the group of people that I'm around. But at my place of work, nobody talks about it. So, but you have a Marvel film coming out, or you have Spider-Man coming out, or you have this or that and the other, and people are like, "Oh, hey, did you see that? Did you see? Have you seen it yet? Did you see the trailer? This, that, and they're talking about it." But Star Wars, nobody asked me, "Hey, did you see the Rise of Skywalker trailer? Or did you see the last Star Wars trailer?" Nobody asked me that. Just in that, to me, it means either people, don't care about Star Wars to begin with, or maybe they never did, but now, maybe they did, but they just don't care anymore. So I feel like interest is not that high in general. It's nothing compared to Marvel. Anybody want to?
Okay, all I can say is you have to go up to him and go, "I'm your only hope."
They won't know what that is. They'll be like, "Oh, well, then we'll get a new hope."
And you disappointed us all, Kenny.
Most people in this generation think of hope and they think of Obama. I'm sure it doesn't exactly resonate with Star Wars to them, I would think. But I'm the biggest Star Wars fan here among us. Well, Nick, you're the biggest, but
Huzzah!
I make no comments on that, but yes, I am a very big guy. Thank you.
But now I lost my train of thought here. I got a zinger out there.
You're the biggest Star Wars fan.
Yeah, and I will say I'm positive that interest is not where it was 5 years ago or 4 years ago. Coming up on The Force Awakens. I think
the reason Force Awakens did so well is because it was a new movie after 19 years. So it's been 19? No,
it was 10 years.
10, whatever.
But I mean, I think I just don't think it drew in a large new audience. I don't think there were a lot of new fans since the sequel trilogy started. I think you're still banking on us old people, or maybe us old people drawing in other old people like Kenny to do podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but there's, I don't know. I mean, I don't listen to as many podcasts as you do, but how many, 25-year-olds are out there doing podcasts on Star Wars? I mean, I'm sure there are other 25, mid-20s people out there doing podcasts, but it's definitely not on freaking Star Wars.
Well, I mean, you look at all the other podcasts that you listen to, like, Making Star Wars or Rogue Rebels or whatever. Not Rogue Rebels. What's the other podcast?
Rebel Force Radio.
Rebel Force Radio. They're all like our age talking about Star Wars. So yeah, I like this graph thing. It's I like the Aquaman one. It's like Aquaman has this like small blip, and then it's like they're actually Rise of Skywalker and Aquaman had the same fucking blip.
What does that tell you?
That people were more as curious about Aquaman as they were about Rise of Skywalker.
So, to me, that's concerning.
Yeah, I honestly think Last Jedi did do a lot of damage for.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't agree with the fact that people blaming Rian Johnson for everything, but it is what it is. So.
I think there were a lot. Okay, so you had a lot of build up for The Force Awakens, and a lot of people were excited. Mm-hmm. You had that moment in the trailer with the Chewie "We're home" line. I think that brought a lot of people in, got a lot of people excited. A lot of people went to see The Force Awakens, obviously.
Right.
Set records at the box office and all of this. And then I think some of the older generation didn't exactly like it, or they went with it's too much like Episode 4. Either that, or they're just like typical Star Wars fans and have to bitch about everything. So you had, so then I think you shed a portion of the fan base that wanted to see The Last Jedi. Yeah. And then The Last Jedi came out and split what was left in half, basically, and now there's only like that little fraction now that is even, or that lets on that they're excited for.
So obviously it was up to The Force Awakens, and The Force Awakens made good money, but it was up to them, or up to that film, to really bring in new viewers to the franchise, and obviously it must not have done a good enough job, because whereas you have basically any Marvel film, or that brought in all these new viewers. And if you want to go back to like Iron Man or something, which I know Brian and I discussed off air, Iron Man brought in, it was the first in the Marvel, well, I guess, was it first, or was
it was first MCU movie,
right? So it brought in all these people that were, obviously there was no other ones before it,
and it was such a minor character. Like I didn't know anything about Iron Man when the movie Iron Man came out.
Me and Jason were the only ones really excited about Iron Man because I knew who he was.
But look what it started, and but it did a good enough job to bring other people in. And maybe Force Awakens catered too much to the old crowd and not enough to a newer viewer, that it kind of like, okay, all these newer viewers went to see it and they this is too nostalgic, or it's too this or that, and they didn't want to continue with it. So if Last Jedi made half as much as Force Awakens, which I mean still is a good number, but it's still half as much, what happened?
Oh no, I was gonna let you finish. I actually got a good
but
story.
I mean, so then it just didn't do enough. And same like Solo, everyone that saw Solo, well, maybe not everyone, but most of the people that saw Solo enjoyed Solo. But not that many people saw Solo, and that's frustrating because it was really great. And it was good, good action, great characters. All you had was a couple characters that you knew, but the rest of them were new. And I thought that, and there's a lot of people out there that want more Solo because it did a great job in, and I know obviously.
And who knows if we'll ever get any more
and
Solo.
You probably won't. So, I don't think Force Awakens did a good enough job of making
drawing people in
and making new characters, really that interesting. So
I don't remember if it was this article. There have been like 3 or 4 different articles by this guy since this one. Like, are Star Wars toys, like,
I saw that link at the bottom. I was gonna click it.
Yeah, is interest in Star Wars toys waning, and just like a few more of those. And so there was one, and I think he did one on characters. He did a study on characters, and pretty much found that there's like zero interest in Finn.
He's a fucking asshole, and he's just not a good rootable. Like like he's reckless, just like he was called in Last Jedi. Like,
Are you thinking of Finn or Poe?
Oh, Finn. Yeah, I'm thinking about Poe. My bad.
Yeah, Poe, like he rated higher, and Rey rated
So
higher.
all right, I don't even want to get into.
But
why
Finn
people
was
like
Finn was basically like a flatline.
Why?
I think he was just too vanilla. I don't know, just too.
See, I like Finn. Poe's whatever.
But Finn has a
but-
great backstory.
I
You
liked-
don't know enough
I
about
liked
Poe's
Poe in The
backstory.
Force Awakens, but I didn't like him in The Last Jedi.
But you don't know enough about Poe's backstory. You know plenty about Finn, and I can't believe I got him wrong. But
this is the problem with the Disney era of Star Wars. There's plenty about Poe's backstory. You just have to.
you have to
Yeah,
find
and-
it. I shouldn't
and
have to go find it.
That
you
was
know?
something else that I was listening to another podcast this week. I don't remember which one because I listened to so many, but they were talking about that, how the most exciting parts of the sequel trilogy are happening off screen.
And that's the problem for sure. You know, I mean, I know Force Awakens was busy and had a lot to do, but you know, giving these people a backstory. At least Finn, you had a backstory because he's a stormtrooper. So now you have a little bit about how he became a stormtrooper. We don't know, but you know.
I mean,
well,
don't you
the film
think
doesn't show? Maybe you know, but I don't know how he became a stormtrooper.
he grew up a stormtrooper from?
But that's obviously not in the film.
No, I know.
Or
but-
what it says say was all he knows, but still, like, you know, showing that. But Poe, I don't know shit about Poe. Like, where's he from? Like, what did he? How is he? Why is he such a great pilot?
See, and there's a whole comic book that pretty much explains his origin. But
Yeah, from Yavin.
yeah.
There's some
His-
tree
I
in
think
there
it-
somewhere.
Yeah, and I think his mom was a pilot who
Yeah, she fought
flew at
the,
Endor.
The battle for Endor. Yeah,
Where-
like I said,
where'd that
it's-
come
it's
from?
the problem that Disney.
A comic book. That's
but
what
yeah,
I'm-
you can't
that's what I'm
expect
saying.
all these
Everything-
people to know this stuff.
all this stuff is happening off screen. Like the most exciting stuff is happening not in front of us. Like
we all like Clone Wars and Rebels, but I was listening to someone talk about somewhere where they're like, "Oh man, why should I have to watch Clone Wars and Rebels to understand the Star Wars story?" I'm like, I love it, but it makes a good point. Like,
You're right, because there's so much backstory and so much to do. It's intimidating for new people, and it was intimidating for me to kind of get into this. And you know, I've done the work now, and to get myself kind of back up to speed. But it's intimidating for people.
I really don't think you need to watch any of the extra stuff to watch the movies, though.
But if you need to know, if you are interested in new characters and in different things, like it's kind of nice to have it there.
Yeah, but you don't need it.
Like,
Like,
you got Tony Stark, you know, in Iron Man. He's rich, eccentric weapons maker. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know, you know, it gets into more about his parents and father and their death in later films. But at the beginning, you know what he's about, and then you know he's resourceful and he's rich and he's a weapons maker. That's all you need to know. And then it builds from that. And really, from Star Wars, like, who's Rey? Still, we don't fucking know who Rey is. You know, like where she came from, what she's good at. We only know that she's force sensitive and she's this. Poe.
And she's
We
the
don't know
most
where she came from.
powerful person
Why?
that Luke's ever seen
Why?
since Kylo Ren.
Why? You know, exactly.
well,
But why?
I
Like-
actually have to kind of side on Kenny's point there, where if you look at the prequels, as bad as they were, you didn't really have to know any of the books to understand where they were in the prequels, what was going on.
Well, then you're agreeing with me too. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
So we're all
I'm
in
saying,
agreement,
like,
apparently.
I think we're on the same page, just different stories of the same page.
No, my story is you don't need to see the Clone Wars to watch the movies.
Which
because
movie though?
Any of them. Because none of the movie makers are taking any of this shit into account.
But I think you need it. Well,
I think they are more
Well,
now.
when they throw in somebody like Grievous, and you're like, who's this guy, and why is he in here for like 5 minutes in the movie? It's like, it does become a problem.
But he wasn't that big of a deal. He was like a kind of a extra character. He wasn't like a main.
But we didn't
character.
know anything about him when Revenge of the Sith came out, other than he's the droid general.
I'm talking about major characters here. So like major characters, we don't know anything about them. And okay, you got side characters that you can flesh out in Clone Wars. You know, Grievous or even Dooku that you can kind of give a little more time to. Anakin, you can kind of give a little more time to. Padme, all these different stories that you can tell. But these are main new gen characters: Rey, Finn, Poe, that BB-8, even like that you just don't know that much about, and they never. Here we are, 2 films in, we still don't know anything about them, unless you read a comic, and I'm not reading comics. So
Well, according to Daisy Ridley, we're gonna find out who her real parents are.
We shouldn't have to
in
wait.
Episode 9.
who cares the fuck who her parents are?
Well, and that's just it. Like, why do we need? Like, why does there need to be a mystery?
Because if people don't have, it's like the whole lost thing. People.
So it's J.J. Abrams.
It's like, what the fuck's the point?
But that's
frustrating.
Alien. Okay, but you can't make $2 billion or whatever the hell they're trying to make if you don't care about the characters.
It's not a Star Wars thing. Like these mystery boxes. It's a J.J. Abrams thing.
So here we are with Luke dead, Leia's dead in real life, but not dead. But Han's dead. So you're relying on these new characters that we don't know anything about, and you're trying to sell a new film on it. And I'm watching because I'm a Star Wars fan. But
what do you need to know about Poe that you don't know from the movies?
I'm speaking for non-Star Wars fans. People bringing him in. I'm speaking for new Star Wars fans or non-Star Wars fans. But just who he is, like, why is he there?
He's a Resistance pilot.
Okay, why is he okay? Oh, there's like what makes him so special?
But why do you need to know that?
What makes him so special from the hundreds of other Resistance pilots?
Kylo Ren said he was the best Resistance pilot.
How do we know?
Because Kylo Ren told us that in the movie. He's on the opposite side, and he knows who he is.
Showed us, and we became interested in him.
But I'm just saying,
nobody's making a fucking Poe Dameron fucking.
No, they're making a comic
prequel
book.
That nobody cares about. If Poe Dameron prequel comes out, nobody's watching it. Han Solo prequel comes out, people will watch.
It's like a Resistance cartoon, maybe, or something.
So I'm just saying, like, he's not that interesting. And
I totally agree. I'm on your side here, but I'm just saying, like, you don't. Maybe the sequel trilogy, it would help to know more, but I don't think it's. I think it's just in the way it's being written so much.
Here's Rey, and she's collecting scraps in Jakku, and then all of a sudden, somehow now she's on the Falcon because it was there.
Because circumstances led her there.
But
I mean, it's just like Luke. Like, Luke ends up on the Falcon because his
uncle, and you kind of. You learn in the first film that he's obviously somebody. And
why? At the end of that first movie, we did not know he was a somebody. We knew he may have had, like, Force abilities, but we didn't even know what the Force was then.
It's amazing. If you look at that first movie just by itself, it really doesn't explain anything.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I guess I'm putting them together then, because I'm like, yeah, it's still.
But it's so. You can't really say
so. A whiny bitch, though, honestly. And when we get to our freaking episode 4 review,
the episode would be called "Whiny Bitch."
He was a whiny bitch,
which is why it makes me laugh when, like, your original trilogy people are always bitching about Anakin being whiny. Luke was just as whiny.
Yeah, he was fucking whiny. He was annoying.
But
asking so many questions, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So. But anyhow, maybe you have to. Just take the sequel trilogy and look at it after the third movie comes out and it's completed, and then say what we
But how do you get people to go and see these films?
I think there's going to be plenty of people that go to see it.
I feel
obviously
like
not as many
we all
as
die. The people that are in their mid-30s and up higher.
This will just become like the Wizard of Oz or Dick Tracy or any of those.
It will die with us.
Like, how does it become a Mickey Mouse or a Superman?
It will die with us. How does it become an Avengers or?
Yeah, but I mean, Avengers is not that long lived either. I mean,
it's like 15 fucking films, that'll.
But at some point, don't you think the Marvel universe is also going to lose its shine?
There's going to be a new Iron Man, and there's going to be a new Captain America. There's going to be this and that, and it's going to continue. Always a new Spider-Man. This is going to keep building and growing, and
But is it? I mean, at some point you're gonna run out of people to play the characters. Like, you're gonna have like
a new character.
No, but I mean, like,
fucking reboot it. It's like
exactly.
Star Wars.
But I don't want to reboot it.
I don't either. I just feel so. To get back to the,
I'll tell you what I wouldn't mind though.
Okay,
I would not mind a galaxy, like a full length Galaxy of Adventures type animation redo of the movie with like the sound from the movies. Like they're doing with the cartoon clips.
But I feel like
make a big freaking movie of it.
Disney has to make $1 billion to consider anything fucking successful. Like, why can't you just, like, Solo? They consider that a flop. Okay, yeah, maybe it didn't make as much money because you had new directors and reshoots and blah, blah, blah. But Solo was fine, and
everybody
and
wants
they
to
call it a flop because it didn't make that much money, and
But
so they're never gonna grow.
everybody
because they
wants
think everything
to-
has to be $1 billion.
But everybody wants to vilify Disney on this. Do you think it's so much Disney saying that, so much as everyone in the press and the fans and everything? Like, it's a flop, it's a failure, it's a failure.
Cancels movies because they want certified franchise hits.
But so
That's
exactly,
like a
so
legitimate
that's bullshit because the film, if it performs well, is not good enough for them because it's got to be like the best.
But I
Wow.
think it was a lot of bad PR is what
Solo
soured
shouldn't
Disney.
have had bad PR.
Solo's problem was the director thing. That wasn't even the
Solo's problem was it cost so much to make it. Number
because
one.
they switched directors halfway
Yeah.
through.
Like
Well-
what quantifies like a success for
$1 billion
Disney?
movie.
I would
Exactly,
say
and you can't-
a
not everything
profitable
can make
movie
a-
would be successful.
Profitable.
Like it wasn't profitable. They
It's
lost
gotta
money
be.
on
It's
it.
got to be at this point with DVD release and all.
Maybe.
It's got to be.
I don't know.
at
I'm just
this
saying
point.
like
It
that.
made 300 something
I would
million
consider a
dollars.
profitable movie successful.
Didn't
not
it make
like-
$300 million or some shit just in the theaters? Before
But
even-
that's what I'm saying. I think like
Yeah.
everybody, all the newspapers and websites and fans, everybody was saying how like poor it's doing at the box office. It's a flop. It's the worst Star Wars movie ever. And they're like, what? Disney's gonna be like, okay, we need to get away from this.
So,
Like,
but you get all this news, and people are like, "Oh, I don't want to see Solo because everybody it sucked and nobody went and saw it." People did go see it. It just didn't,
I saw it, I think, 3 times.
So almost $400 million. So that's
Well, when you have movies like Rogue One and
how much did
Episode
Rogue One
7,
make?
Rogue One made like $1 billion.
That's good. So Rogue One was fantastic.
that was great. It's my favorite.
But it was
That's
just,
my
but it, I don't-
favorite.
But it was all of us probably watching it. And
Yeah.
not-
And anyone who would be listening to us right now, and no one outside of that.
exactly.
Actually, I had someone bring up a comment or a thing one time asking if you took out all the original trilogy characters out of the sequel trilogy, do you think it could make for better movies?
It would give the newer characters time to get a backstory and to I mean,
I don't know. I thought the addition of Han Solo in Force Awakens was fantastic.
no, I enjoyed that. The Chewbacca stuff was fantastic.
And just he made Rey likable. And Finn, like just the interactions he had with the characters I thought was great. And then his death at the end, like
Powerful.
I think it was good. But I mean, I don't know.
But this constant need to go find Luke.
That's been the MacGuffin of this whole trilogy, and now
I still like me and Kenny's MacGuffin or idea for what episode 9 is gonna be about. It's gonna be about the true parents of Luke and Leia.
Oh yeah, it's Clovis.
Yeah,
Clovis is their
Chloe's trying to
parents.
mack on Padme.
Oh yeah, he was trying to hit that. And then you got freaking Maury Povich over there making a guest appearance. DNA tests and stuff. He flies in.
So I actually have a story. You are not the father.
no.
Just completely change all of everything.
I
Just
know,
because.
that would piss off a lot of people.
That's not possible. I have a theory for
By the way, so
Rise of Skywalker.
question.
Answer.
Does a force sensitive person have to be born to force sensitive people?
No.
Because I'm like, well,
Yeah,
it has to
Anakin
be.
wasn't.
But but that was a miraculous whatever.
No, that apparently that's Palpatine impregnating through the Force.
Whatever.
Isn't that
That's
like
dumb.
canon now?
Like,
It's hinted at,
Oh, did they make it like straight up canon now?
but he didn't. He
You like willed the Force?
midichlorians.
bam, you're pregnant.
He's just like a redneck come like, bam, pregnant. Bam,
Hey,
you're
girl.
pregnant.
I just impregnated you in my eyes. But no, so because I'm like,
I think what you were looking for, by the way, was immaculate conception,
what? Reception.
not miraculous.
But so all these people have to be born to some great force sensitive person. Like, so Clovis could be the father. Doesn't have to be any
He just
force.
put her- He has like, he just put her hand around her. Pregnant.
Hey girl, and she's like, get your hand off me. But then she stands up to get some drinks. He's all like looking at her ass and stuff. Like, this is a cartoon. This is a freaking tune.
But no, I actually had a story that actually kind of brings up the whole Force Awakens thing. I was at a Perkins in Claremont, right? And I was sitting there waiting for my food, This is a rousing story. And,
Patiently? Should have went to Denny's. You could have got solo cups. Not like red solo cups, but Han Solo solo
Denny's
cups.
heist.
Yes.
Perkins heist. Doesn't sound the same.
But I was sitting there just waiting for food, and these people next to me started talking about Force Awakens. Talking about they were bringing up all these theories about Snoke and about, you know, who this, who that, you know, who were Rey and Finn
Who dat?
and Poe.
Who dat?
Like, who dat? And it was really interesting to hear them talk because they were really into it. Never heard anything from Last Jedi. Never heard anything from Solo, Rogue One. Like, it was that's why Force Awakens was so unique, because so many years after the fact, people were excited, but then Last Jedi, you don't hear anybody talking about it. It kind of sucks.
I think it killed it just because of, like, it didn't answer a lot of the questions, and the one question everybody wanted answers to, they got the answer they didn't like.
Yeah, they got the Knights of Ren. I think the Knights of Ren would have solved a lot of problems in that movie, like for people. Not for me. I don't care. I like the movie. But
I think people are turned off by Star Wars because of Star Wars fans. Maybe. And I was just pissed off like everybody. Like, we're the worst. Like, well, not we.
I'm the greatest.
People out there bitch so much about.
Newsflash, you are the worst.
Thank you. But people out there bitch.
Lucas
The
Lane.
way I maybe it maybe came out wrong, but people out there bitch so much about these films, and they probably turn off like new viewers because they read a review or they go online and Google it, and all that they see is backlash for whatever reason, not WWE backlash. But they see all this stuff out there that's negative, and so like, oh, whatever. No, nobody else likes it, so why should I? So I just think that people need to, like you, long-term Star Wars fans, need to stop with the bullshit.
Can I bring up something?
There's two kinds of Star Wars fans. There's people like me who like everything, and then there's everyone else that like just
so if you're not
hate
first,
everything
last,
else.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean there's other people like me that everything they see they like it, and then all the other people hate us because.
But like, why can't you just go in? You like something, like me, or you like some things, you don't like some things, but you're not gonna go online and bitch about it and like turn everybody else off to it.
But like even the stuff I don't really like, I still like it. Like Last Jedi.
Yeah, but you know, how many times do you watch it? When was the last time you watched Last Jedi?
I haven't really watched anything other than the 3 Clone Wars episodes in the last 3
But
weeks.
no, so basically, to reel it back in, yes, it's waning, and there are reasons why. You know, and you know, as far as like, is it waning compared to like how many people go see it? If Disney's expecting $1 billion, yeah, it's probably waning. But you know,
Speaking of interest waning, how's Galaxy's Edge doing, Nick?
Moving on.
I heard it like slowed down quite a bit, but it is okay. I'm gonna preface this by saying I heard this from a person that I don't like, so I'm not gonna name who it is. But they were trying to say, oh, because California is slowed down. I'm like, one, California is mostly local people, not from people from. No, seriously, most of the people who go to Disneyland are locals. What? Everybody goes to Disney World. So Disney World, when the Galaxy Edge opens up August 30th, it's probably going to do much better because it's Disney World. Millions of people from all around the world go to Disney World, not Disneyland.
So what you're saying is we should go to Disneyland instead of Disney World.
I think we've actually saved money. Saved time and effort and money, probably.
when I was 12, I went to Disneyland.
I've never been to Disneyland.
Yeah,
I went to Disney World twice
I've
when I
actually
was a
done
kid.
something
Though.
you haven't done, Mr. Rich Parents, and like.
I think I went to Disney World like 2 or 3 times when I was a kid.
I went twice. Once in '86, which was the 15th anniversary, and then again in. Actually, I think that might have been the second time.
Wait, so I guess Arkansas is closer to. Yes.
I think I went in 85 and 86. I think is when I went. I worked there briefly, part time, and pretty much never went. So I ended up quitting.
I worked there part time, and they told me I had a set schedule, so I was like, screw you.
I was like calling out all the time because it was a good idea. Like I would work full time at my full time job, and then pick up like part time shifts on my days off, and then my days off would come, and I'd be like, yeah, I really don't feel like working today.
I mean, you could do what I did and just not show up, and then be blacklisted for the rest of your life. That's what happened to me.
So you could never work at Disney?
Nope. Universal as well. If you quit, you're banned for life from working there.
Even if you quit?
Huh?
Even if you quit?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't put my 2-week notice in, but Disney, I just stopped showing up. Yeah.
I think I put my... Pretty sure I put my 2-week notice in at Disney, but I may have called out during that time.
You used all your points. I'm going to leave that in, Kenny. But yeah, no, like I said, Disney World, I'm sure, is going to do a lot better than Disneyland because of the locals. So
It depends on if you're west of the Mississippi and Mississippi.
Yeah, Louisiana, because the Mississippi goes through Louisiana.
Wouldn't it be closer if you lived in New Orleans to go to Disney World, even if you're west of the Mississippi?
Probably, but
So there goes your theory.
fuck
No,
off!
I'm
I'd rather go to
telling you,
California.
I'm telling
I'd
you,
rather go to
most
California
people go to
from
Disneyland.
Would you say
Florida.
most good-looking people go to Disneyland?
well, that too. They're hot, attractive people in California.
I'd rather go to
Have an
Disneyland in
earthquake.
California from Florida. So, fuck Florida. I want to go to Disneyland.
I would rather go to Disney World in Florida just because it's only like 2 hours away.
No, I'm traveling all the way across the country with her getting sick on the airplane because it's too far and
No, panic attack, not sick.
panic attack. You know, getting
I
drunk.
mean, they have earthquakes over there. We just have one of those.
Oh yeah, 6.4.
Hurricanes?
They just had an earthquake
Yeah.
yesterday. Happy 4th.
You should YouTube your movie reviews from a hurricane if we get one this year.
That would be amazing. I would get.
I'm here to review.
Review. Twister.
It's a twister. It's a twister.
I am. No, I was gonna say we were talking about earlier with people and their comments and all that crap. I see that a lot of times on YouTube. Not promoting my channel, but I'm just making a point of. You see that on YouTube where
It's a
people
cheap
just,
plug.
Hey, you know what? I'm trying. No,
Watch Movie Emporium on YouTube, everybody.
No, I'm just saying, like, you'll see it on YouTube where people just complain and, like, not agree with you. They'll be like, oh, this guy is wrong because he said something. And I'm like, no, it's my opinion. That's the whole point of reviewing. So, but people don't like it. I was just going back on the...
Didn't somebody tell you to like die or something at one time?
I'm sure they did. I don't... it could have been someone I know. I think I used Yogi or something like that.
Anyway, so back to Galaxy's Edge. So if I wanted to go to Galaxy's Edge, I should go to California?
I think
Because
if you- I think
nobody's
if you went in
there?
September,
Well, if you want to go tomorrow, definitely go to California
But
because
no, right, of course.
Orlando's not open
But
yet.
like, there's nobody there. It's a ghost town.
The
Apparently.
lines are
I'm just
it's
telling you,
it's
like-
a ghost town in Orlando right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Literally a
could.
ghost town.
I don't think I could get in
No, but I was saying, like, in September, you could go and you probably walk right in.
to.
After Labor Day, and kids go back to school.
Don't wear white though.
I
After Labor
don't
Day.
understand that. Why after September? Why? How? At what point can you start wearing white?
Don't you get pinched?
Hey,
by-
exactly. That's
It makes
always
no
been my
sense,
question.
Like, Colleen, do you have an answer for this? Because this is like
What's
a
that?
lady.
What? I'm sorry.
Like you
Fashion.
can't wear white after Labor Day, but when can
Oh,
you
yeah,
start
no.
wearing it again?
Is it
In the
like
summer.
is it?
After Memorial Day.
Oh.
So you can only wear white for 3 months.
Crazy, right? No, when I grew
Here,
up,
get on mic. Tell us.
because I lived growing up in South Jersey, and old school. Yeah, if you wore white sneakers, white pants, white shirt, you can't wear white after Labor Day because white. I don't know really. I guess it represents summertime.
Virginity?
Yeah, that's if you get married a virgin, and that doesn't happen.
Wasn't that the purpose of the white
Nobody-
dress?
Nobody does that.
Yes, exactly.
There's so much
So
blood.
anyway, but the thing is, because summertime you wear white and light colors. So after Labor Day, you're not supposed to wear white. Don't know why.
Thanks.
Really, I never got an actual definition. It just wasn't right. That's what my mother told me.
That was the voice of Colleen, everybody.
Thank you.
Always hear her from the background.
We get up in that mic.
She got
That is our fashion correspondent.
But there was no point in me saying it.
Fashion
I didn't give you all definitions.
correspondent.
I don't know. I was
Fashion-
never
fashion
explained
barista.
Really why? Except that you don't wear white after Labor Day, and
So there you have it.
because it's
Yeah.
summer colors. It's a summer color.
So there you have it.
If you want to wear white today or tomorrow, feel free. But once Labor Day hits,
But yeah, so we've been going for like 43 minutes.
that's all.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty good for a subject that was brought up like about graphs and statistics.
Graphs and charts. I love my graphs and charts and
I
statistics.
said sharts like 3 times. Nobody caught on.
Sharts. Kenny and his sharts.
Well, again, you're not very vocal. You're not very loud.
Sharts! Sharks!
Oh my god.
You need to speak from your diaphragm.
Oh.
Okay, so you have breaking news?
Yeah, actually I do. I have a breaking news story that was apparently reported 6 hours ago, so it's not really breaking news anymore. Okay, so according to Fantha Tracks, George Lucas approves a screening of the original Star Wars movie. And David Dott, who went to the screening, writes, the Academy got special permission from George Lucas to screen it in a double build with Rogue One. And that's huge because this is the first time Lucas has signed off to a public screening of the original version of the film since before 1997. What does this mean for the future of Star Wars releases? At this point, no one can say, but Lucas allowing the screening is something that would have seemed impossible literally 1 week ago.
But it's not up to him, is it?
No.
So what difference does
I
it
still
make?
think they still want kind of his blessing, maybe. I don't know why Disney hasn't put out the original forms of the movies,
But I like a double screening with Rogue One and Star Wars. That's great.
I would like it with no credits or
Yeah, just go right
or
to it. That would be
scroll
awesome.
in between. Yeah,
so
just go
from.
just go from
They didn't do a
the.
double credits at the end, just because obviously you have to. But like,
Yeah.
that would be
The
fantastic.
question I have is they go into Lightspeed and they come out of Lightspeed, but then I still have that problem where they act like the Vader didn't see him carrying off the plans. That point is so weird.
But
to
he
me.
didn't see them.
But he knew he had the sense that they were planned or something that. But he knew what the ship was, so they're acting like that ship was. Did they have many Tantive ships?
Tantive,
Tantives.
Tantive 4.
No, did
I don't
That's an
understand.
answer to one of our questions.
I don't understand.
What I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
No, I'm saying he knows that she's on the ship. They know that the ship is blasting the hyperspace.
right.
When it comes out, they're right behind him. So why did it just doesn't make any sense where Darth knows this is a ship because of what happened in Rogue One.
Right.
He sees the ship, so it's like it kind of makes a point move of her like trying to say, "Oh, no, this wasn't the ship," when he literally just saw the ship like 10 minutes.
She's
prior.
not saying it's not the ship. She's just playing dumb. She's playing innocent. Like, oh, we don't have any transmissions. Blah blah blah.
I don't know.
Yes,
It's
he
just
does
weird.
know. That's why he takes her captive. That's why he destroys the ship. And
It's I don't know. It's always been a weird thing. It's like
That would be honestly though. Like once again, that would be fantastic. Put it all together, make it one long ass movie. I'm in for that. I will
they
watch
have to do
that.
some editing with the ending of Rogue One with the beginning of
Why?
so forth. Because they go to hyperspace and all of a sudden you're gonna shoot over to the Star Destroyer moving close across space against the Tantive. It just feel kind of weird, like the edit there when you're going from hyperspace straight into.
I don't know. You do like a Lucasian wipe,
Oh no, I'm just saying like.
and now the Tantive 4 is coming across Tatooine there.
I mean, you could almost like take out the scroll of the Star Destroyer and just put in the Tantive getting attacked by the Star Destroyer itself. I don't know. It just seemed like a weird edit. I'm looking at it
That
from a
sounds
movie
awesome.
editing.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. George Lucas doesn't really have a say.
Yeah. Go ahead and show it.
So, anyways, that's it on the news. Nothing to really talk about that we haven't talked about for 43 minutes. Yeah. So, Brian has a quiz for us.
Okay, so we're gonna do a quiz.
So,
So
you gonna do like 10 questions for me, 10 questions for.
no, I'm going to do as many questions as you can get in a minute.
Nick's probably gonna win this.
No.
'Cause it's not Last Jedi or Solo.
Okay, so here are the rules for the quiz. Okay, each of you will have 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can in that 1 minute. And
I get a minute and he gets a minute.
yes, one of you will leave the room and one of you will answer the questions. And then,
So it's like Family Feud.
yes, except for you can answer the same question with the same answer because there's only one right answer.
So when he like, let's say I go first and then Kenny leaves the room, I have to leave the room, and then Kenny comes back, that type of thing.
Well, the second person doesn't need to leave the room
Okay, so we'll have Kenny.
unless you're going to be a distraction.
I'm gonna go. See you later.
Take your chips with you, Kenny.
I'll be back.
Okay, so
Yeah, Mom,
I've got the timer
And this beer.
here. Well, before you go, so I'll ask the question. If you know the answer, say it as quickly as possible. If you don't know it, say pass, and I'll go on to the next question. If you get the question wrong, you got it wrong. If you pass and I get through all the questions, we can go back to the ones that you passed on. But you can't go back to the wrong questions, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay. So, Nick, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. I'll just
Kenny
wait
leaves the room.
for Kenny to leave and not listen by the door. Okay. I will start the clock after I finish reading the first question.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
1 minute on the clock. Name Prince. Oh, let me go back before I read this question and just say that all of these questions come from Star Wars Episode 4 and Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. Okay, here we go. Name Princess Leia's ship.
Tanta 4.
Luke's aunt.
Brew.
What animal do Tusken Raiders ride?
Dewbacks.
Who rides single file to hide numbers?
Pass.
What skeleton is seen in the desert on Tatooine? What creature attacks Luke on Hoth?
Wampa.
Who does Ben tell Luke was the best star pilot in the galaxy?
Anakin.
Who were Luke's friends that left for the academy?
Biggs and... Shit, pass.
Name the overweight pilot from the Death Star run.
Porkins.
General in the Hoth base.
Riken.
Okay, so
how many did we get through?
we got through 10. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 correct answers.
Okay. Was it right? Was it Riken?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one you got wrong was Sam People Ride Banthas, not Dewbacks.
Oh, I think I passed on that one. So passed on that one in the.
You didn't pass on that one. You guessed Dewbacks.
Wait, no. I thought that was what creature.
No, the question was, what animal do Tusken Raiders ride? And you said Dewbacks. The answer is Banthas.
Oh, what the hell did? I don't know what the hell. I was thinking.
Stormtroopers were riding Dewbacks.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Let's grab
Okay, so you got 6 and 1 wrong. So if Kenny gets 6 without getting any wrong, he would win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna go grab Kenny.
Don't grab him too hard. Okay, so Kenny, you need to beat 6 correct answers. 6 correct answers. If you get 6 correct answers and don't get any wrong, you will win.
Okay.
But if you get 7 correct answers, you win automatically.
Okay. How many questions do you have?
We got through 10.
How many questions do you have?
20.
So if I pass until I have no 7 things, what will happen? I'll run out of questions?
You run out of time eventually.
But
I mean, it takes me some time to read through the question, so.
oh, okay. I'm just gonna pass until I'm saying,
Yeah.
if I pass until I know 7 questions. It's a good
Well, I
strategy.
don't know.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Well, actually, shouldn't the passes count as fails?
No.
Fails count as fails.
Because I knew, I'm sitting out there and I'm like, he's gonna be like,
He wasn't really.
Yeah,
No, he was.
There's like one question.
I think the longest part is me getting through the questions.
You better read fast, motherfucker.
I try, but I'm also keeping score.
Kenny's
so.
like,
Here, you keep score.
what blank can pass? What pass?
Until I know one, yeah, because I'm not as versed in
So,
new knowledge as you are.
I will signal you if it's correct or not.
All right.
You got to be looking at me though. I think most of them you'll know the answer to because you knew the answer to.
Hold up.
Okay, when you're ready.
Roll out. Dun, 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 dun. Roll out.
Okay. Are you ready now?
Make
I
sure
am.
audio is working. Good to go.
It fucking better be.
Okay, here we go. I'll start the clock after I read the first question.
Okay.
Name Princess Leia. Oh, hang on. I did this to Nick too, so it's not an unfair advantage for you. All the questions are from Episode 4 and Episode 5.
Okay.
So Star Wars, A New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Name Princess Leia's ship.
Pass.
Luke's aunt.
Pass.
What animal do Tusken Raiders ride?
Pass.
Who rides single file to hide their numbers?
Pass.
What skeleton is seen in the desert of Tatooine?
Pass.
What creature attacks Luke on Hoth?
God damn it. Fuck. A fucking white fucking pass.
Who does Ben tell Luke was the best star pilot in the galaxy?
Anakin.
Who were Luke's friends that left for the academy?
Pass.
Name the overweight pilot.
God damn it. Shit, I know these, and like I'm trying to like think really fast.
Yeah, you got one correct.
I know these, and I'm like, just like,
Okay, so
I know these.
Princess Leia's ship, the Tantive V4.
This one,
Luke's aunt, Baru.
I know these.
Baru White Sun, if you want to be specific. What animal do Tusken Raiders ride? Banthas. Who rides single file to hide their numbers? Sand people. What skeleton is seen in the desert? A crate dragon. What creature attacks Luke on Hoth? A wampa. Who does Ben tell Luke was the best star pilot in the galaxy? He actually says your father was, but Nick said Anakin, and I gave that to him. Who were Luke's friends that left for the academy? That was Biggs and Tank.
Oh,
That's what you said when Biggs and Tank left.
I knew Biggs, but I couldn't remember the other one.
Name the overweight pilot is Porkins.
Knew that.
General in the Hoth base, General Riken. General in Yavin was General Dodonna. I think that was
So
about
my
as far as I got.
strategy of
I got the Riken.
if it doesn't instantly come to you, pass.
Didn't really
Did
work
not
out.
work.
You got 0 correct, right?
Well,
I got one.
Anakin.
Oh, okay.
Well, technically,
Yeah.
I got one. But yeah, that was. I'm sitting out there. I'm thinking of my strategy. I'm like, okay, if I don't know it instantly, I'm gonna pass, and then yeah.
I mean, we could try 11 through 20.
Another lightning round?
Yeah.
Because apparently we can only get through 10 questions.
All right. Well, so
So do you want to go first this time?
Sure. Nick, get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the scorecard. It's harder to keep score and read the questions.
How about I keep score? Correct.
Well, it's easy apparently to keep score with you because you get none of them right. So
Porkins. Ding. Porkins.
here we go. Like the last time, I will read the question and then start the timer. So here we go. This will be question 12. Okay. Name someone from the Death Star briefing scene other than Darth Vader.
Pass.
Where does 3PO say they will be sent when entering the escape pod?
Fuck. Pass.
What system is the asteroid field in?
Pass.
The Bespin resident running with the ice cream maker.
God damn it. We talked about this. Pass.
Who is as clumsy as he is stupid?
Pass. God damn it.
What does AT-AT stand for?
All terrain.
How many fighter escorts do rebel ships from Hoth get?
6.
Wrong. Boba Fett's ship.
Slave 1.
Wow, you got one. What type of cannon was fired from the Hoth base?
Pass. Oh, goddamn, it's fucking hard. I'm doing good.
So you got one again.
I only got slave. That's not good. Nick! God damn it. I don't have to get up. There he is.
Nick, you have to beat one.
Got cake?
Yeah, I brought like 4 pieces.
I know these. Like, I'm just trying to like.
I didn't make them difficult.
No, they're not hard. That's what she said.
Why don't you ask the cat? The cat probably knows more.
Get down, cat.
Well, we'll go through them all, but you only have to get one right. Well, you have to get 2 right to win.
All right.
Although he did get 1 wrong, so.
At least he didn't pass on it.
Well, if he gets 1 and doesn't get any wrong, I was going to give it to you on the last one because he. But anyway,
that didn't
here
happen, so it
we
doesn't
go.
matter.
So I will Start the clock after I read the first question. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Put the cake down.
Damn it.
Okay, here we go. Name someone other than Darth Vader from the Death Star briefing scene.
Tarkin.
Where does 3PO say they will be sent when entering the escape pod?
Pass.
What system is the asteroid field?
Arlenium system.
Bespin resident with the ice cream maker.
Oh, something hood. Not pass.
Who is as clumsy as he is stupid?
Pass.
What does AT-AT stand for?
All-terrain armored transport.
How many fighter escorts do rebel ships from Hoth get?
3.
Wrong. Boba Fett's ship.
Slave 1.
What type of cannon was fired from the Hoth base to protect the transports?
Cannon.
Correct.
What
With
was the
12
one?
seconds to spare.
What was the one that the ship one? How many ships?
I
Two.
kept thinking Tarkin. But I
Two
couldn't
fighters against a Star Destroyer?
Like Tarkin, I couldn't remember his goddamn name. I'm like,
Could have been.
Grandma.
Tarkin,
Grandma,
Tag,
Grandma,
Mahdi.
Grandma. So many grandmas. Like
Admiral
I couldn't
Yularen.
think of Grandma.
Who's you're as clumsy as you are stupid?
Admiral Ozzel.
Grandma.
Admiral Ozzel came out of Lightspeed too close to the system. He is as clumsy as he is stupid.
Do this for new stuff or solo? I'll murder you where you sit.
Well, I had 10 minutes to whip up a quiz, so...
I still can't believe I won.
No, that was good. It was
Yeah.
good. It was a good idea. I like that. I like that. Get out of the room.
Yeah, we should do that more often.
We should get out of the room more often.
Thank you, Brian. I mean, Kenny.
Okay, so... Are we on to Clone Wars reviews now?
Do you have anything to talk about in your toy box that we haven't talked about in forever?
Boba Fett's on my trail! Gotta jump to hyperspace! Surprise, surprise! I'm Lando in disguise!
New Hot Wampa, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo in hot outfits, each sold separately.
Tauntaun's front and hind legs move.
Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars saga began, and Kenner continues the excitement.
Put down your Star Wars lightsaber! Close your eyes and go!
Boba Fett is not yet available in stores, but you can get him free with 4 proofs of purchase from any Star Wars action figures.
Will the rebels survive? Only you can decide with Star Wars toys.
Well, I mean, I picked up most of the exclusive stuff that was out.
Your freaking toy room is nice right now.
I mean, it's getting there.
He's got some new shelves. He's got
Well, I was finally able to dig out some of my non-Star Wars toys, like Masters of the Universe and Ninja Turtles, and still have to put up my G.I. Joes, but there's room.
So there's been some new Star Wars toys announced, right?
Not really.
Well, I mean, there's Funko ones, like the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, those are nice. Yeah.
I don't like those. I just want the single figures. I don't want
You have a whole bunch of them at your house, like the big Funko Pop and the little.
Brian will tell you how much he doesn't want something, and then you buy it for yourself. And he's like, "Oh, I want that." I'm like, fuck, I gotta give it to him now because I owe him like 6 pops.
But I don't think I've ever said to you, "Hey, I want that cinema scene Funko Pop," or
that's true.
"I want that X-wing with Poe Dameron Pop." I just have
Nobody
some of
wants-
those because I was part of that Funko subscription box thing, and every once in a while they would throw one of those in. I would have rather have just had a single pop. I don't even like the 2-packs that much.
You're just a single pop kind of guy.
Yeah, just like action figures. I prefer a single carded action figure to multi-packs, or I like just having that single carded figure.
Actually, there's something funny on Stranger Things season 3 where one of the kids is playing with maybe it's season 2. One of the kids is playing with a He-Man doll and Barbie. And the kid goes,
Ugh.
"You can't play with those. Those aren't in the same universe." I'm like, "Oh, that's all Brian up and down." That's probably what Brian was like when he was a kid. You can't play with He-Man dolls with Barbie dolls. It doesn't make any sense.
I didn't like playing toys with other kids.
We're aware of that.
Yeah, you guys, we probably wouldn't have been friends when we were kids.
You would have hated me.
No, I was doing like Voltron and Mask and Transformers all together. So
I mean, I would have liked to have played G.I. Joe and Transformers because they crossed over in the comic books. So I would have liked to have done that, but the Transformers weren't the correct scale. So,
Of course.
You couldn't have put Duke inside Bumblebee because Bumblebee was so much smaller.
that's
So
why you put them on top of it.
You could get
hold
Duke
them.
you
inside
can't.
Bumblebee.
Huh?
You could get Duke inside Bumblebee.
No, you can't.
Oh,
Bumblebee's
yeah,
tiny.
You could.
Oh my god, that's so terrible. Yeah, so I guess that's all Brian has on his toy box. So we haven't done a toy box forever.
Well, you asked me what I got, and then I started to tell you, and then you interrupted me. So,
Well, continue then.
I got all of the retro collection figures.
Okay.
So I was able to find those. They're like no longer available. They were like impossible to find. But I finally found all 6 of them on the pegs one day in the
Nice.
Men's clothing section of Target.
As you do.
Really?
Yeah, that's like we haven't talked about this in a while, but remember the exclusives that Target was going to have, the retro collection. There was a vintage collection Han Solo Stormtrooper, and there was like a Black Series Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper from the Death Star, and all of those came out for Father's Day. So they were on a Father's Day display in the men's department. So if you went to Target looking for these toys in the toy department, you would not have found them unless somebody erroneously put them back in the wrong spot.
Or if you wandered through the men's department.
Yeah. So luckily, I listened to enough podcasts and read enough toy news that I knew to look in the men's department for these figures, and I found them. But then what happened was the day after Father's Day, they clearanced all of those figures out. So they're like not even available at Target anymore.
So you got it for like really cheap?
I didn't, because most of them were gone. Like the retro collection was gone. They were impossible to find because I'm assuming that people wanted them and they sold quick. So yeah, those things flew off the shelves. I think by the time Father's Day came and went, you may have been lucky to find a vintage collection Han Stormtrooper because, I mean, they got cases full of that one figure. And then there were quite a few of the Black Series Luke Skywalker Stormtroopers, which I didn't even bother getting any of those because, like I said, I'm done with 6-inch.
You're just done.
I'm done.
No more.
I don't.
No mas.
They're too big for me.
Where are my enemies? You gotta say no mas.
I can't take a 6-inch.
He only wants 9.
I only want a 4-inch.
He only wants the $5 foot long.
He only wants the...
So anyways, anything else, Brian?
I also got the Jabba's Palace Carbonite Han playset vintage collection.
Oh, I think you're gonna say you got the sail barge. I'm like,
No, I'm never gonna get the sail barge. you try to force that thing on me, and I don't want it. I don't want it. Like, it's too big. Size matters.
Size matters not.
It does matter. I don't have the space for a giant barge.
Can't from your ceiling. it only goes like the full length of the ceiling, so
it's like almost as tall as me. I don't need something that large. I don't really. I'm not a huge. I mean, I've got every other vintage collection toy that's come out since the relaunch last year, other than the barge. But I'm not a big vehicle collector. Like, I get them because
you can take them.
Yeah, they're
Exactly.
smaller. I can take those.
yeah.
But I got the
Nice
TIE
and small.
Fighter because I got them on clearance for $10 each. Remember?
Yeah, I remember
So
talking about that.
how could I not get those? You
I
know,
don't
when
know.
you're talking something that small and that cheap.
So with that, and Brian's, anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. So we'll do we'll go into the Clone Wars and talk about them fantastic, wonderful, amazing episodes of the Clone Wars.
Okay, folks, so Season 6, Episode 5 kicks off right after the last 4-part arc. This is called An Old Friend.
Milady, watch out! I would stop right there if I were you.
How did you get a blaster into the neutral zone?
We're resourceful. Now, why are you breaking into my quarters?
Padme, you don't understand what is going on here. I need your help.
Last time you needed my help, I ended up poisoned, and you did nothing.
That's not true. You stole data files from me.
That revealed the location of a separatist droid factory sponsored by you.
Look, it's not safe. We can't talk here.
While on Scipio to fund a mercy mission, Padme Amidala is called upon by an old friend, Rush Clovis, to help uncover corruption in the banking clan. Oh, that's so exciting. The description put me asleep almost.
Yeah, during the episode, I'm like, Kenny, I think I'm tired of this episode. We're only like 5 minutes into the episode.
So I'll start on this one.
Yes, please do.
So again, like this was not my favorite episode of the arc, but
I wonder which one it was.
We'll get to that.
Not this one. Not this one. But what I like, I've only seen these episodes maybe one other time before, and I remembered this episode as being the end of the Clovis arc. Like I for whatever reason, I thought that arc ended with the little ski trip down the hill, like Christmas vacation saucer race thing.
Bingo.
Got this metal plate in my head.
I don't know if I should be.
So yeah, that's what I thought of when I saw him take his hat off and go down on a saucer.
He went down.
Every time she turns the microwave on, I piss my pants and forget who I am.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, for whatever reason, I thought that was how the arc ended with that chase.
That's how I was hoping it would end.
But
we got 2 more episodes.
Alas, it did not. So, yeah, I mean, I really don't have that much more to add on that episode other than I thought that was the end, and it was not. Yeah, I mean, she goes to Scipio, she gets into the vault, goes in there, plugs her data pad in, and gets the information she needs.
Oh, well, I mean, Scipio. I thought it was called Skippy.
Scipio. It is the planet that Clovis is the senator of, Scipio, and he was raised there by Mune.
He brought that up.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the little Clovis backstory.
Yeah. So you like that backstory stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I just want to know who they are before I go getting invested in them.
Are those just Easter Island looking creatures, aliens?
Yes.
They're
like the banking clan aliens.
I was saying they look like the Easter Island headstone. That's what they look like.
Kind of.
Yeah. I can see it. So I in the old book, what was it called? I'm drawing a blank here. Darth Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis is not that old, is it? The book's not that old.
No, it's not that old. But do you remember the book?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure in that book, Darth Plagueis was a Mune.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
It's been a long time, but I want to say he was. But now that's legends anyway, so who knows if that's even the case. But yeah, I mean,
you don't have much else?
Huh?
You don't have much else in this one?
I really don't. I would just grade this episode.
And you watched it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and you liked it?
I like the arc as a whole.
You like the idea of it?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this wasn't my favorite episode it's probably my least favorite episode of the trilogy. I like the dealings that are going on in the other two, you know.
I was just doing this.
Because you don't like drama. You just want, like...
I do like drama. I just don't like Star Wars politics.
Well, you need the politics in Star Wars.
The politicals.
That's what the original trilogy was lacking. Politics.
That's why it was so good.
No.
Space battles and
that's
people
what the sequel trilogy is totally missing.
You're saying the original trilogy would have been better with more politics?
Yes.
There was actually a Simpsons joke where they go to see a Star Wars-esque movie and it's just nothing but them on the Senate floor just talking for 4 hours.
It would have been nice to see, like, okay, who's in charge other than the Emperor? But
that's just it. He was the only one in charge. He was the Emperor.
But all right, well, so then therefore you can't have politics because there's only one person in charge.
I know. But I will say that the sequel trilogy is seriously lacking politics. And you need it.
I don't think you do, though.
You do. You don't know what the hell's going on when the Force Awakens opens up.
That's true. Like, who's ruling what?
Yeah. Why is there a New Republic and why is there a Resistance?
Well, you can find that out by reading them.
Exactly. Oh, here we go again.
Comes back full circle. Exactly. Yeah. And then, you have the First Order destroying the Resistance, and
who were the First Order, and how did they become?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And it goes back to my.
Supposed to be a Snoke book at some point.
I don't know, but it goes back.
You shouldn't have to get it out of a book.
It goes back to my whole everything that is good of the sequel trilogy is not happening in the
Important
movies.
shit in Avengers doesn't come out in only a book. It comes out in the films. So what do you got to put a couple more films out? Like, it's important.
Episode 9 or episode 8.65.
Episode 13. Who gives a shit? Like, whatever. It's important.
What grade did you give it?
I'm gonna go with a C on this one.
I'm impressed. Not impressed with the fact you didn't like it, but impressed to give it a C.
I didn't not like it. I just didn't love it.
There's a couple things for me like that just kind of stuck out. First off, the freaking assassin guy looks like a Mortal Kombat character, Kung Lao. Like it was like got the weird hat. Like,
Embo.
Okay.
Embo. He's been in other episodes.
Who is he?
Embo.
And, like where he just shows up and tries to kill him. There's no like conversation.
He had a conversation with Sidious at the end.
What's with assassins?
Oh well, actually, so speaking of that, the end, I dropped the PlayStation remote and we missed like the last minute and a half. So that's probably in that. No, because he was trying to kill him in the next episode. So we missed that last minute and a half.
How much I remember from 4 hours ago watching this.
Well, because and then I'm like, you know what? We're not even gonna finish this because it sucks so much. So maybe I don't remember it.
So yeah, he had a conversation with Darth Sidious.
And what happened then? Did he get?
No, he told him that he accomplished what he needed to accomplish. He killed Tekla.
He was trying to kill him because in the video the scene.
Well, I don't think it would have
missed him. Like,
I don't think it would have mattered if he killed him, but like the whole plan was just to leak the information about the banking clan.
The
they had no money.
Like when Anakin gets there after Padme gets arrested, he's such a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he
like,
is.
Dude, you're such
that.
a fucking dude. Oh, you're lucky I came and got you, kind of bullshit. Like, dude, fuck you. Like,
I was like,
you're such a
at
dick.
that point, I'm like, I told Cam,
one of my lines that I liked from the
wife gets arrested and you don't fucking bail her out. You, what the fuck? Like, you're such a dick.
Well, no, it was like I went to
I should
Kenny,
leave
like,
you in there or some bullshit he said. Like, come on, dude.
I went to Kenny like, me, Anakin, you woman, you listen to
Well,
Anakin.
he was doing
in the next
just
episode.
that.
He says, "You don't have a say in this."
Yeah.
Like, I'm a fucking senator.
I forbid you to like fuck off with that. And we'll get into that next episode, but like, come on, yeah. So he shows up all high and mighty. He'll like, oh, look at you, you got arrested. I bailed you out. Like, dude,
He was all cool until she brought up Clovis. Then
what? Clovis is here? Like, really?
The one guy who was probably in what was he like one episode? I don't like him anymore.
Like, he just turned into like a different guy. And like, this is the guy who's gonna freaking change. Is gonna like kill everyone in the goddamn
See,
galaxy.
but that's another
because of her.
That's another good part of this, though, is Palpatine purposely sends Anakin because he knows.
He knows, yeah, I get it, and he plays off the jealousy, and you can see it in his face. But like, god damn, like, I want to go back to the beginning. Like, really, this is the reason because you wanted to say you love her so much, you want to save her because she's. But months before, she was hanging out with Clovis.
But what is she doing too? By the way, like their whole relationship
is what she's doing.
No, but I mean with Anakin. Oh, yeah. Like, she marries him even after he just killed a whole tribe of sand people and, like, confesses it to her. She's still okay with that.
Yeah,
okay.
there's definitely
I also question whether it was
plot
Luke
holes
and Leia as kids.
There's definitely plot holes in this
Parents,
marriage.
I mean, not kids. You know what
But no, I'm all for Rush being or Clovis being the damn father.
Yeah, it would be
like
the
that angle.
craziest thing you've ever
That would
seen in
be
a Star
great.
Wars movie.
Except I don't know that she was pregnant before he died. Oh, spoiler.
Oh shit, he's gonna die. But we don't know how close this is.
I don't know if you saw the end of that episode.
Once again, there's only 3 years in between, and we've already gone through 6 seasons. You gotta be getting close to the end.
But you know, there's a whole nother season, so.
You think they're just gonna focus on
time?
Like, her impregnation? They're gonna be like, this episode.
You think they're gonna show it on the Clone Wars?
Giggity.
He's like, raises his hand.
Clone porn. Like, no.
Did you have anything
But no,
else?
so I gave it a D-. It was boring. It did not excite me in any way. The Anakin Padme stuff was the only like decent stuff, but it was still like he was just being an idiot. Like, did nobody ever give this guy like some advice? I'm like, all right, you shouldn't probably not talk to her like that. Like, come on, you shouldn't talk to anybody like that.
Their relationship is just completely messed up from start to finish.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it was a D-. This was one of the worst Clone Wars episodes ever.
Not even close.
All right, and so, let me go off my
This
tangent.
isn't a detective story.
I'm gonna go off on. I like that story, but I'm gonna go off on my tangent now. I was gonna wait till the end.
Ahsoka lost a lightsaber story.
No, that's the other one. The other one, I'm talking about the one with the weird French detective or whatever it was.
I was gonna go off on my tangent at the end, but I'm gonna add it now. If this is what Star Wars or Clone Wars season 7 is gonna be, pass. Don't bother. Don't fucking bother. I don't want to watch this crap. Don't make it. I don't care. You have to be better than this. This was just like bullshit put together.
This was so much more tolerable than Droid Car Wash.
I would
I
would rather watch stupid what's his nuts like wandering through the desert, whack and the stupid old general whatever the fuck walk through the desert for 25 hours.
I didn't hate
then
those
watch
episodes
this
either.
again.
This
It was
like
terrible.
That was funny too because that was a Droids episode and I wasn't looking forward to it. And then I was
this
like,
is what season 7's gonna be. Don't bother.
Well, we're
Stay out of my house.
also Ahsoka-less in this season, so that could be part of it.
But it's just no action. The only action was at the end in the invasion or whatever. But that was even like, oh hey, let's give him some action. No, bullshit.
It looked awesome, by the way.
Fine. It didn't look as good as other invasions.
Oh, it looked awesing.
It was not that great.
That was in my notes. Invasion looked awesome.
What's with the new droid? There's like a new battle droid.
He didn't even say Roger.
No,
fuck him.
Like
it's not new.
There's like an upgraded droid. I'm like, what the hell is this?
They've been in other episodes.
I don't remember other episodes.
Remember the one where it was like Rex and crew had to go infiltrate a droid base, and they used a droid head, and they held it up.
Oh, that was that droid?
I did like that one, yeah.
Well, that was a regular battle droid, but the other droids were, I want to say they're like assassin droids or something like that. Assassin. But they've been in other episodes.
Okay. I'm taking your word for it. I don't remember.
Please, I will unsubscribe to Disney Plus if this is the bullshit we're gonna get.
I won't.
I will.
We've already put your money down, $70.
Kenny's gonna bitch about like every arc moving forward.
Probably because
you're gonna bitch about.
Honestly, maybe it's because I'm over Clone Wars. And I want to get to the next order of business.
You're gonna
I want to get the Revenge of the Sith. I want to get the Rogue One. I want to get to Solo. I want to get the Rebels.
Well, Rebels is gonna come before and after Rogue One.
I'm ready. I'm just ready to.
About half of Rogue One.
I'm ready to get
when Rogue One fits in, then we'll go to Rogue One, and then
I'm just ready. I'm ready to go. Let's move on from this shit. I'm over it. It's 7 seasons. We've got 6 now.
We will be done with Clone Wars in 2 more podcasts.
Like 7 seasons. I got to do the math. I guess their years are different, but like 7 seasons, 20 episodes for like 5 of them. You're running out of time.
I can tell you right now that next episode of ours, you're not gonna like at least 2 of the 3 episodes
because Jar Jar's in it. Yeah, I already saw that.
Can you imagine if we were doing this episode by episode, week by week?
Would never. Yeah, that's
we'd
why
never finish. I like the next. I like the one coming up with Saifa Diaz. That one. That'll be the 3rd one we watch next week.
Okay, you already jumped ahead.
Diaz.
Well, I didn't jump ahead, but I know I like that one.
Maybe I will. I don't know.
But you're not gonna like.
I'm ready to move on.
You won't like the Jar Jar ones, and then after the Saifa Diaz one, the following week it's the Yoda arc, and you don't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that arc.
I think Nick will like that.
Nick loves Yoda.
Yeah, I love Yoda. I love me some Yoda.
I don't know. This whole season, the first time I watched the season, it was fine, but this time I'm just like, can we move on? I want to get to other stuff.
So so you graded this one like let's.
I haven't even
plus.
Yeah, I haven't even gone.
One of the worst grades I've ever given.
Went from a D- to a D+.
Is that what? Yeah, whatever D.
D-.
I'm all about the D.
Do you collect 6-inch though?
What's that?
Do you collect 6-inch or no?
I'm all about the D 6-inch. Give it all to me.
Okay, so some trivia for this. This episode was originally scheduled and announced to be broadcast as the 5th episode of Season 5. Clips from the story were incorporated in several Season 5 promos. When Anakin opens Padme's When Anakin opens Padme's cell door after her arrest, she is lying as her daughter will one day in the Death Star. Good stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty much with you, Kenny. This episode was boring. I have to ask Brian this. Why does every bounty hunter have one of these like small spy ball droids?
Or it looks like the fucking weird flat hat like the Kung Lao.
Yeah, because
maybe it helps them with their business. I don't know.
Like they don't have to worry about the top of their heads, like seeing above their brim.
like.
I think you're asking
aiming.
two different questions here.
Yeah, I'm talking about the
He's
ball.
talking about the little seeker spy droid things.
Yeah, because they had like
but the stormtroopers use them too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the problem is. It's like having a drone. I think that would be helpful.
If I had one in my everyday life, I'd probably kill way more people.
Way more than you already do.
Exactly.
Clovis seems like a swell fellow, not boring in the slightest. I say that sarcastically. He's boring as fuck, man.
Like, how did she used to hit that? Like, he's not that fun.
I don't know that she ever did, though.
I don't know what they do in Star Wars.
They had relations.
She hit and quit it to the Senate.
But, I mean, I read the book, Queen's Shadow, that Nick used to call Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit, like the arrow?
Yeah. So, I read Queen's Shadow on audiobook.
You read it.
Yeah. And, like, in that book, it's, talking about how Padme entered the Senate and everything, and she became... She like, didn't like Clovis, and he made passes at her, and she turned him down.
But they had a relationship. That's why when he walked in this episode, she's like, no. She's like, no.
But I don't know if it was a relations-type relationship, or just... He had feelings for her,
Why
and
would
she
he
didn't
think he could put
reciprocate.
his hand out, like, around her, like, in the next episode? Because they were physical.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how in depth their relationship.
The theory
got.
that Clovis is the father. I'm all for that. Like, can we retcon that shit in?
We actually didn't even mention. We did. Ian Abercrombie stole the Palpatyne because he comes up on the hologram. I'm like, that doesn't sound like Tim Curry. So this was apparently shot before he died. They recorded.
Yeah, but they made these specifically for Netflix, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, to get that Netflix money, they probably dug him up. Got him to talk.
I don't know. I wasn't invested in this episode at all. I was getting kind of tired of listening to the Easter Island head people, and that's another thing that's going to be brought up later on that I'm going to bring up is why are they staring? They're like literally right in front of like one of their people, but they have big monitors above them.
I'm fine with that. I actually kind of I like that.
It seems like so wasteful.
Like it makes them look more powerful. Like, oh, you got the 5 heads of the banking clan up there. Like if they were just sitting up there, you wouldn't be able to see them very well. Like you're just getting a bigger screen.
I feel like they're like the Autocons in Transformers, the movie. They go innocent or guilty.
The Autobots?
No, aren't they Autocons or something like that? Little shark things, Sharkticons.
They were Tripticons, maybe something like that. Like I don't think that's right, but
innocent. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyways, but yeah, I'll give
they were
it
like the 3-headed things that just floated.
That's what they feel like. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyways,
the Quintessons.
Whatever the hell they are. But I'm giving it a C-.
I'm a fountain of useless information
for
80s cartoons and movies. Toy lines.
So, it was not great.
By the way, one of the trivia questions or answers, Padme speaks to Clovis about how they saved the Bromlarch citizens and Queen's Shadow crisis involving the aqueducts.
Okay.
So apparently that gets brought up in the new episode. The latest, the one we're getting ready to talk about.
Thanks for that nugget.
You're welcome. I do what I can.
Okay, so next episode will be Season 6, Episode 6. The Rise of Clovis.
Oh yeah, he's rising, alright.
Master Yoda.
We weren't expecting such a formal welcome, Master.
A personal request of the Chancellor's. My escorting you was, Senator. Adventures have you had on Scipio? Hmm?
Have you met Rush Clovis?
Met we have, yes. Intrigued we are by your return to Coruscant. Much distrust is focused upon you.
I understand, but I hope to right the wrongs that I have done.
Delay. We must not.
He is.
Rising them something.
Rising in the pants.
Clovis, a known traitor of the Republic, makes a dubious deal on Coruscant, which puts him at the head of the banking clan. Once again, riveting stuff.
Riveting. So I'll go first on this because trivia on this. Apparently, this was supposed to be the 6th episode of season 5. Blah blah blah. Anakin has, of course, a pod racing poster with Sebulba and Ben Quadinaros in his room because he's like 4 years old and apparently. 2 of the competitors in the Boom to Eve. So that's all I have on trivia. Yeah, I wasn't real invested in this episode once again. Why is Anakin is an asshole in these episodes. Anakin and Obi-Wan early look at their feud. They're fighting. You can kind of tell like where their feud's going to end up going later on, which is okay, kind of cool.
I don't even remember seeing Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he was only there for a minute.
Yeah, they
to give us sage advice or whatever. Like,
yeah, they need to bring giant James Arnold Taylor in there to pay him a little bit of money to
get him paid.
He's like, is he in any other episodes of this?
Yeah, he's in more. He'll be there.
Basically, this whole episode is about Clovis just trying to get his freak on with Padme. Like he's literally like doing what Anakin did in episode 2, where he's just like slowly like
talking about sand.
What's that?
He should have talked about sand more. She would have liked that.
Yeah, and killed some sand people.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, if he knew how to float fruit,
that's what I'm saying. Like if he would have told her how much sand annoyed him, it would have been over. Like Clovis would be the father.
If he had killed his parents in a sand desert planet, I mean, we get some sand creatures and
killed his parents.
No, like if he had, yeah. Well, I mean, he technically killed something in the desert.
Yeah, sand people.
Yeah.
Wow.
His mom died in his arms, and that's why he killed the sand people.
I'm just saying, like
he had no father. We've already established that.
Wait, did Clovis have a father?
Yes.
No, we didn't get a fucking back. Oh, actually, he did say that.
His father was an advisor to Immune.
He did say that, yes.
Not immune like immune, but
Like,
to
I mean, he could just say
Immune. His father was an advisor to Immune.
Okay.
He died in a shuttle accident.
He did say that, yeah.
And he was then adopted by that Immune and raised as his son.
Is his father like Grievous? Did he become a mechanical robot?
No, he became
we're trying to make Clovis like.
Well, it's not working. Your facts are all wrong. Just like last episode when I wasn't there to correct you.
The facts are always right.
So
they're never right.
Like you had, I don't know, you got more of. I get why they're doing it. Anakin, you gotta show his jealousy. You gotta show him how like this is a part of the story of what makes him turn and blah 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 blah. But he like, come on, dude. And then they even break up. Like Padme tells him like, oh, I don't like all the secrecy. I'm not happy. Like all these like signs of like literally like if these are things that are happening in your relationship, you got problems, but somehow they still fucking make it through
and make babies
babies. But that's another time. Like Clovis, you know, right?
You think Padme saw the signs and it opened up her eyes?
No, obviously not.
She saw the sign. No, she didn't because she
died.
died.
Like way over everybody's
She
head?
did not see the signs. It didn't open up her eyes.
Not you two. Who the fuck?
Yes, I did get it, Nick.
Okay.
I was just
making sure.
But anyway, so yeah.
I gave it.
I don't have a lot to say about this episode, really. C+, C-. It was there. I'll never watch it again now that I don't have to. Like this whole arc, I'll never watch it again. It was not great.
I have a question for you, Kenny. Are you gonna go back and watch any Clone Wars episodes ever again?
Yeah, I'll probably watch some of them.
I've got go-to episodes I watch.
I'm just gonna play the car wash one, or the droid wash.
Well, you can watch that all you want. I will probably never watch that one again.
I don't like that one. He went to go watch
it. Like R2 at his finest.
Yeah, he was so happy.
If by finest you mean his worst, then yes.
Oh man, at least he's not getting his lightsaber stolen without his knowledge.
That episode was so much better than the fucking droid wash episode.
You say so.
It was you take the droid wash out of it, and maybe I can not hate that episode. But that just, I was like, oh my god, this is so stupid.
That's why it was so good, because it was just such a relieving episode.
I felt no relief from it. But anyway, back to this episode. Okay, so I like this one better than the last episode. I definitely like the politics involved in it. I liked Anakin throwing down and beating the crap out of Clovis.
I just felt like it was a pissing contest.
And well, it was, but
for the affection.
But I mean, it was all played out according
like that Anakin, like beat his ass. Like,
yeah,
Cloven's like
exactly.
Don't. Oh yeah, you need your Jedi tools. So he throws his lightsaber down and like
starts beating the crap out of him.
That was cool. I actually liked that.
I thought it was.
And then Padme's like, stop, Anakin, stop. And then she says something, and then that's when he says, "You don't have a say in this." Like, I thought that was funny.
I do like the fact that Clovis actually like changed his tune as soon as the who was it that walked after they're fighting. So it was
Captain Panaka.
Like what happened here? And Clovis like, oh, it was just somebody hit me and Anakin came in to save me. So even after they fought,
actually, it might have been.
I thought it was Typho, but it's
Yeah.
Panaka.
But we're talking about
Panaka was from episode 1, right?
Yeah, I think it was Typho.
Yeah. Yeah,
we're talking
it
about
is.
we're talking about bank loans and banking clans.
But it's
and
all that's all
loans and
that's not
bullshit. That like, come on.
But that's not the main purpose of the
when
episode.
Netflix ordered this, they were not like, oh, let's give us some banking clan stuff.
But that's just the MacGuffin. That's not really what the episodes are about.
And
It's
then,
about.
like,
It's
Well,
about.
you think Wells Fargo likes this episode because it's about
It's-
banking?
Maybe.
Well, it might maybe because it's like scamming and stuff. So, but I mean, it's about Palpatine manipulate. Yeah, the saga, the Palpatine saga. It's about and you can't even make that the title because people will just read it correctly.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's about him manipulating everybody around him just so he can get control of the banks.
Yeah.
And
he's being manipulated to begin with. It's just manipulation upon manipulation.
it's basically figuring out how he can turn it around and
Yeah.
and also get Anakin closer to the dark side.
But the nerve of him in the next episode thinking that I've been promoted, I'm in charge of the banks, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, no, dude, you're being manipulated. Stop. Don't even try to come up with your own agenda.
Even Dooku's like, yeah, this guy's getting manipulated. Like, fuck, man.
Well, Dooku's like, yeah, no, you're not doing what you want because we're gonna do this, and you don't have a say.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So yeah, I like that. I like that kind of stuff. The little political intrigue. I know you guys don't.
There's been better stories, and I'd rather see one of those other stories.
You know me. I love politics and political intrigue.
You
so
take whole days off to watch politics, right?
I do.
Make banking clans great again.
Exactly. So
didn't you picture 4th of July and that speech?
Yeah.
I pictured the Revolutionary War in airplanes. So
yes.
What grade did you give it, Brian?
I'll go another C.
Did I give my grade C minus?
Maybe.
I don't know. You gave I thought you gave it a D something already.
No,
but
last one was a D.
Yeah, you gave the last
D
one
a D something, but we're not sure
It's a
which.
big old D.
I figured you were going to get a lot of D's in this one.
I can't take that many D's.
Okay, so let's move on to number 3. And were you guys happy that there was only 3 episodes this time around and not
I
a
was
4
so
episode
thankful that there was only 3 episodes. I'm like, thank God. And I'm like, can we get to the Jar Jar episode already so we can pass this?
so that you can bitch about those?
Finally, we have season 6. Thank God. Finally, we have season 6, episode 7. Crisis at the Heart.
Our garrison has been attacked by the Separatists, and it appears they are staging an invasion of Scipio.
An invasion? What do they hope to achieve? With this news, the Senate will vote immediately to attack Scipio.
It appears war has already come to Scipio.
I want you off that planet immediately.
I can't.
Surely you can get to a ship.
General Skywalker, I'm afraid I'm trapped.
After making a deal with Count Dooku to resuscitate the ailing banking clan, Clovis finds himself as a pawn in Dooku's designs. Robble. Politic. Banking is over.
Stock market.
The best thing I can say about this episode was I like the scene of the gunships invading.
I was so tired of these episodes; they didn't even affect me anymore.
I get that though, Brian. Like, okay, cool, invasion scene, but it wasn't enough. Like, because I didn't care about
the visual.
who they were invading. Like, I just didn't care. Like, I want to care about. Hey, I hope they make it through. No, I hope everyone on that whole planet dies because it was so boring.
We talked about the real issue in this episode. Why the hell can't Anakin hold an 80-pound woman and a 115-pound guy?
I don't think it was so much that he couldn't hold them. It was he couldn't pull them up.
Like, he couldn't use the Force to bring one of them up or something?
I don't think he wanted to, but yeah, even then, like Clovis is just ready. Like, all right, whatever. I'm gone. Just let me go. Like, I know I impregnated you, and you're gonna have Luke and Leia, but I'm gonna just fall to my death and die now.
Yeah, there's not much to say on these episodes.
This was not a great episode.
It had interest rates.
But that was interest rates. Okay, and then Dooku shows up, and then Dooku leaves, and like, oh, you're on your own, buddy. And
with how greed and riches.
more Senate stuff.
The one cool thing in this episode, I don't know if you noticed when Dooku's leaving, and he's walking past the dead clone troopers, and he like kicks the one in the head.
I did not notice that. That might have gave it like a whole half a percentage point better.
Yeah, he like kicks one of the
That's awesome.
He kicked the head of one of the bodies
That's
like by
fun.
accident. Like he tripped over.
Was it by accident?
Yeah, I don't think he did it on purpose.
It's still it's still better because it was like, oh shit, I just tripped on that guy's head.
Yeah,
that's cool. But still, it was not great. It was more politicky shit. I did not enjoy it. I gave a C-.
I'll go another C.
I'm with Kenny, a C-. This whole arc just felt like a waste of time and effort, and they could have done so much more with this. I don't know. I felt like they were trying to.
It was what it was.
At least we got us Ian on Abercrombie for couple more episodes, but it's just like I could care less about this arc in the slightest. This is
you say you could care less.
I could care less. Yes.
So you could care less.
Yeah, care more less.
You couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less. Yeah.
What?
Because if you could care less, it means you do care.
You have like way more care to give.
Did you not listen to Word Crimes by Weird Al?
No.
It's in there.
Well, we were there.
I was there.
Yeah, we didn't discuss that at all.
Oh, hey, everybody. We went to Weird Al.
It was fantastic.
It was.
He did Star Wars things.
Yeah. Maybe we'll save that for the next episode.
We should ask our guy in the street what he thought of it. All right. So what we got next time, Kenny? Since we're done with this, thank God, with this arc.
Nick, you know what we're doing next time?
Yoda?
No, not Yoda. Jar Jar.
Oh, wonderful.
You thought you loved this episode. Just wait.
They're gonna.
Did he crash it?
They're going to personally ask for Jar Jar specifically as the representative of the Republic. Is he going to
bring about the Anakin initiative to turn him into Darth Vader? You already started the Clone Wars.
No, it's only a 2-episode arc.
It is.
Wow.
So season 6, episode 8, that disappeared, and season 6, episode 9, that disappeared. Part 2. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so at least we'll
actually, if I remember correctly, I didn't hate these.
There's one more episode to watch in that arc, though. Not in that arc, but there's one more episode, a standalone.
You know what? Let's do that one too, because just to get pushed through.
Because all that's left then is the Yoda arc.
So then, the standalone season 6 episode was the Lost one.
That will be my favorite of the 3.
Is that where we want Jar Jar to be, the Lost one?
No, honestly, I didn't hate the Jar Jar one.
I don't really remember them that much.
No, so. I vaguely remember it, but I remember being like, this isn't not that bad.
This isn't not that bad?
This isn't that means it's terrible. No, this is not that bad, so I'm fine with it.
All right, so there you go. So we got 3 episodes, which will leave us how many episodes? How many episodes has that? 4? 3? 4?
3.
3. So we got 6 more episodes.
6 more episodes. So 2 more podcasts.
November. Actually, until next year, when Clone Wars comes back.
Yes.
And then we can start.
Moving on to
Solo.
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, Revenge of the Sith. That's right.
Yeah.
Man.
Then Solo.
It's been so long since we talked about an actual movie.
Solo.
Like, when did we start the Clone Wars? Like a month
like
after?
May of 17 or some shit. Like May of 2000.
No, it wasn't
17. No, we started.
We started in November of 17.
So it would have been
December actually.
It would have been May or like June, like April of 18.
Jesus Christ!
So a year and a half we've been doing fucking
Clone Wars.
Feels like a year and a half. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it feels like 17. Yeah. No, like Clone Wars mostly has been fine. It's just the political stuff we're not fans of.
I will say with Clone Wars, you guys,
one of my favorite.
You either love them or you guys hate them. There's no middle ground for you guys.
This has become like one of my favorite series.
There's high ground.
Definitely not this episode.
You definitely don't want to do a flip with a lightsaber if you don't have the high ground.
It's over if you do.
There you go.
Your goose is cooked, and so are you.
All right. So that'll do it for this episode. This is a much longer, much more fulfilling.
Because I'm here.
I still think Kenny and I did a wonderful episode.
You guys did a good job.
No, we did fine.
Yeah. It would be.
But once again,
we're not,
but I'm gonna say you have
when I'm
2
not
people.
Here, obviously you're giving out fake news.
But no, you have 2 people,
Never.
and it takes 1 point. But you have 3 people. You have like an extra person to get their say in, so it's gonna take longer.
I don't know. When I'm listening to podcasts, I want longer. When I want an action figure, I want shorter.
When you want it, you want longer.
We stayed pretty on the rails for this episode, which is good.
The longer, the better.
Yeah. So, anyways, Kenny, how you doing? Thank you for so much for joining me in our talk of footlongs and 6 inches and tacos.
I heard taco too.
You can reach out and touch me at American Ricky on the Twitter. American Ricky on the Twitter. And also email us at trenchrunpod@gmail.com. trenchrunpod@gmail.com. And I heard through a certain kind of way that Brian has his new Twitter up and running.
Yeah, but I have to look up what my...
That's why I was trying to stall for you,
I know,
dude.
I'm almost
By the way,
there.
while he looks for it, I got a free Hulu. Free month of Hulu.
But my Hulu is paired with my Spotify.
Oh.
So I'm kind of cool with getting both of them for the same price as Hulu.
There you go. So what about you, Brian? Where can they reach you?
I am at realtrenchrun_Brian on the Twitter.
I feel like you're trying to say something like we're the fake version of Trench Run, but you're the
Well,
real
I mean, there's many people out there that would want to impersonate me on Twitter, but I am the real Trench Run Brian with an underscore in there.
Yeah.
So
It's like real Donald
Make
Trump.
sure you get that underscore.
You're no longer the Rip Radke. You're now...
No, I've now created a new persona.
Which is similar to
Which
your
is-
real persona.
Yeah. It's real Trench Run
Real
underscore Brian.
Trench Run _Brian at Twitter. Wait, no, at.
No, it's at. Yeah, the at sign comes first.
All right. Let's end this show. Okay, so you can reach me at Big Shadow 1138. Check out Movie Emporium, all that good stuff. Times are changing. Good times.
Movie Emporium.
There you go.
Folks.
Movie Emporium. So, anyways, thank you so much for checking us out and listening. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Good day.
Welcome, everybody.
I hate you, Ken.
Good morning, everybody.
That sounds like... what's up, everyone, and welcome to Trench Run, a place where free friends.
Free of them.
Free.